Howdy.
We're back.
Well, Rob's back because he's been in Nashville for how long?
Only a few days.
It felt like a long time.
Yeah, you missed me.
Yeah, I had a bit. I've filled up a few times. The shop has, because no one's been in since you've not been here, apart from the video shop terror thing, which was
These
really
guys
good.
came in. They had a preview. Well, not a preview. A screening of it at Quad in Derby, which was very successful.
Yes, it was good. Really good. Really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Anywho,
We're back with episode 3 of.
What's in the egg, Rob? So,
Should we find out?
find out what is in the egg.
Rob. Dive in. It's a classic.
Oh, the best.
It's a classic.
The
Popping
best.
down.
And we're going to argue why it's the best. But after this is shut.
Closing on you. We're going to get him out of the way. Move the egg.
Remove the egg, sir.
If you didn't see, we've got
A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddys Revenge.
from 1980. Oh, this round put me on the spot now. It's 85.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only reason I know that is because it was straight away after the first one. Because they just went, do it quick. If they didn't have plans for franchise, apart from Bob Shea. That's why they changed the ending of the first one. Because they were not going to have the ending that they did, the original the ending they've got.
You're already off and running, aren't you? You're
Sorry.
Like, just unleashed him.
I just wanted to tell you, in case you didn't know, which most people probably will know.
The awesome series of Nightmare on Elm Street films featuring Freddy Krueger, if you can't see that. Graham Humphrey's artwork, much better than the American artwork.
It's amazing. It's my favourite Freddy film. You're going to disagree with me, I know you are.
I'm not going to disagree with you, because for a while it was my favourite Freddy film. For a long time.
I don't know why it was. It just was, and it still is. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of it gets a lot of flack. I heard it was a dark sheep of the family.
It is. It's the odd one. I think it's probably other than. I mean,
5.
5 is fine. Freddy's Dead. Part 6 is terrible.
I get them mixed up. Yeah, 6 is the one with the 3D thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is horrendous.
To me, that's the black sheep. The whole franchise.
After 4, I think they all are, apart from Freddy vs. Jason I like.
Yeah.
And New Nightmare. So
It's all good. It's all good. This one, when did you first see this one? Had you seen A Nightmare on Elm Street when you saw this?
No, I think that's the first one I saw.
Interesting.
So that's why, again, it's why it's my favourite, I suppose. I watched it and it scared the hell out of me. Then I watched 3, and then I watched 1.
Ooh.
And then when 4 came out, I think I'd bailed a little bit.
Yeah?
Only a little bit, and I watched it on a dodgy pirate.
See, I was balls deep.
I know, yeah, you were, weren't you? You were balls deep and like everything was in your hand. That was your sort of, the height of your film career, wasn't it? Of like watching stuff,
I think so,
And
yeah.
everything collided perfectly then, didn't it? With MTV and all that sort of stuff, so. Yeah, I was too cool for school. Freddie had lost it for me a little bit by then.
You were just getting yourself ready for Batman, weren't you?
Yes. I was sort of way into Batman. Yeah, massively. And to be fair, he scared me. He was scary. When the TV series scared me more.
Well, the Freddy's Nightmares?
Yeah.
How did you see that? Because that just came out on video in the UK.
Yeah, it did come out on video. Yeah, I rented it and watched the first one.
It had shocking lighting. It was lighting like
it was
in the video
horrendous.
shop.
I mean, like when you're a kid, you don't know stuff like that.
I
So-
did.
Did you?
Yeah, it's weird looking back now. Every now and again, I notice certain things. Not like bigging myself up. Oh, I noticed this from a film point of view.
Sorry, Spielberg.
But it's just like looking back. Like, yeah, even as a kid, I thought that's a bit crap.
Really?
Yeah, even so. Freddy's Nightmares was one of those things where I thought this looks really weird.
Well, it's TV, innit? But I watched it again recently, and it's crap. It's really.
Is it crap in like just a weird like they're on something kind of?
No, it's crap as in it's a cash in massively. The first one's actually all right because it's a backstory, and it's done okay, but it's still like watching an episode, I don't know, like Murder, She Wrote or something.
With neon lighting.
Yeah, it's not good. And then the few further ones, I did watch a few until I was told to turn it off, because Freddy's oddly in it as well. It's a bit like
it's like Tales from the Crypt kind of thing, where it's just like an intro.
It introduces it, and as they say, it was definitely a cash cow for which, to be fair, Halloween, Friday the 13th.
It's the 80s, mate.
I know I'm going to upset you,
franchises.
but that wasn't meant to be a franchise, was it? And neither was Halloween.
No.
And that's probably an example of why it wasn't meant to be a franchise, because everyone got the knickers in a twist. It didn't follow the law.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into this one then.
Okay.
Because, yeah, a lot of people say they dislike this one because of the rules which was set out in Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
My opinion on it?
And I've got my opinion, which I think I've shared with you before.
We probably have, but I probably forgot. My might changed. But two things. I think rules for a demon that kills you in your sleep. You can't get mad about rules. And I didn't pick up on it either, so I don't care.
No.
I didn't pick up on it. I didn't care. Oh,
Yeah,
Freddie came in the real world. You can't possibly. It's a possession film.
That's quite interesting. If you saw this first, you didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
It played out perfectly for you.
And I don't think I would have picked it up anyway.
No.
Because it's a different sort of film. It's a possession film. Why can't Freddie do that? Anyone gets a knickers in a twist about it is that he gets killed about 20 times and comes back for no reason. So where's the law in that? It's like, I think Freddy versus Jason answers it pretty decent, where he says there's no one who's afraid of him, and that's why he can't come back. But I think in 4 is a weird comeback with a dog
that's
piss.
the weirdest one.
I mean, it's like, how did you not think? How did you feel about that?
Even then, it's like, it looked cool as heck, but it's so random. If anyone's seen part 4, the way they resurrect Freddy Krueger is a dog takes a piss on his bones.
With fire.
Yeah, with fire.
Yeah.
Peas with fire.
So in the second one then, which was, there was no real explanation, was there, about his return? It was just like...
No, he couldn't come, he needed a body to come back. That's why, like you say, it's a possession film. So, but I think one of the things which people say they don't like is that to bring Freddy into the real world, you have to dream about him and be like holding on to him when you wake up to bring him out of your dreams. Now, the way if you want to really try and shoehorn this film into the Freddy franchise, the way I shoehorn it in is the way that Jesse, the main character in this film, is becoming possessed by Freddy. So, in my eyes, that every time you see Freddy, you're seeing it through Jesse's eyes. He feels like Freddy's out in the open.
Yeah.
So you're watching it, well, you're not watching it through his eyes, but you're watching it from Jesse's point of view. So when you see Freddy running around in the real world, to everybody else, he still looks like Jesse. That's the way of shoehorning it in. There's other things which you can pull on, it doesn't work.
I could pick holes in that a little bit, but I won't.
Oh yeah, you could totally, but that's my way of kind of
it's like dealing with it.
Yeah.
I think also it's like it is a possession film, so that's Jesse is his gateway to the real world.
Yeah.
So if it's his gateway, then he can use him to get into the real world. Really? I think, but they say about his powers not being there and all that stuff, don't they? But like, because he gets hurt in the first one when she does that Home Alone thing.
Yeah.
Like, my boyfriend's just blown up into bits. I'll start messing about with light bulbs.
Yeah.
And what?
She buys a little manual to learn all of that.
Yeah, very quick. I mean, montages in the 80s were mint. That's why films were an hour and a half long in the 80s.
Yeah.
They went, how can we condense this into an hour and a half? Let's just throw a couple of fucking montages in there. And everyone loves them. Yeah. And they should still do them.
Favourite parts of this film?
Favourite part of it?
The opening scene.
Oh,
you can
amazing.
argue as much as you want. That is classic 80s horror. Classic horror, almost throwback, proper suspenseful horror. Jesse's there with his hair like slicked back. It looks like really horrible and stuff. It's brilliant.
It's already creepy.
Yeah.
That bit. You kind of guess that that's a dream already to a point, but it's like, because it's Robert Englund's a bus driver, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've not watched it for some time.
Yeah. So, that whole bit is just like, you're going to school and you end up like with a maniac. And
it's brilliant.
It's amazing.
Because it starts in like the suburbs, then all of a sudden, I don't think these are spoilers. You'll have to watch it if you've not seen it. You've had like 40 years to watch it. But as soon as Freddy takes over the bus, it goes from the suburbs to off-road into just the middle of the desert nowhere. It's brilliant.
It's actually done well as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like fantastic. You can kind of just about tell, but there's some great effects in it. And other favourite scenes.
This is like a really nasty Freddy in this one. He's still nasty.
Yeah. I think it's on a par with the first one to me, if not a bit worse. His kill count's higher.
Yeah.
Is it not? Because he must kill a few at the pool party, which is a good scene. I like that scene because it's petrifying.
Yeah.
You're like having a party with your mates and this dude turns up and starts ripping you to shit. I like that. I liked. Again, controversially, which does make no sense, I'll give you that, is a budgie scene. I like it.
You like it?
I don't know why.
We're on
I
about
just think
installing a budgie in here.
we're going to install We're going to get a proper one.
Swinging budgie, a spinning
We'll
budgie.
get a proper budgie and teach it to scratch people's face. No, we're not really. We are going to get a spinning budgie though. We are going to do that.
Clu Gallagher is the dad.
He's amazing in it. Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead.
Proper 80s dad.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Like, that's what dads were like in the 80s. Tidy room when you're not going anywhere. But yeah,
you love the dance scene about it.
Oh yeah, dance scene's wicked, yeah. And again, it's like, we're going to touch on it very quickly because everyone's talked about it, and there's a documentary. The
amazing documentary called Scream Queen, which you need to check out, all about this film. Because over the years, it's become quite a cult film for the homosexual overtones in it, or storyline, or whichever way you want to look at it, which I had no clue back then. I don't think thousands of other people did.
Well, the director didn't.
That's what he says.
I don't think he did.
Right. So who did?
The writer.
Okay.
Mark Patton.
Yeah. You think Mark Patton knew about
it? He admits it in that thing, I reckon. But he was like, he wasn't even. It sounds really bad. He wasn't out then, was he?
No. Well, that's
because it was like one of them things where you couldn't really.
The 80s, you couldn't do that. To be a male lead actor, you would have been sidelined in a second. So that must have been incredibly hard for him at the time. And especially like this is his lead role, this is big breakout film.
But again, so there is things in it that you think, actually, if someone points them out to you, but
it's quite amazing to watch back now, I think.
Do you think it's right in your face, don't you? Like, well, some people I've read, because I'm not going to touch them, we're purposely not going to talk about this too long, but we will do a little bit. But I've seen people do stuff like even the press up thing is a reference to homosexual. Yeah. Oh, really?
That might be a bit.
I mean, the PE teacher, yeah.
Yeah, the PE teacher's watching them.
Yeah, but that's spooky. I thought that was spooky more than that sort of stuff.
Right.
I didn't think he was just a bit
of
a weird,
nasty teacher,
a horrible teacher in a bar dressed like in leather,
He was the bartender in
Don Shane.
Yeah.
Don's place. I haven't been. But grab your t-shirts while you can. But yeah, it is Don. Yeah, Don Shea. Bob Shea. Don Shea. Bob Shea. Yeah, because he was supposed to, they couldn't find a place for him to be in because he wanted to be in it.
Yeah, it's been in. It makes quite a few appearances.
The director was like, nah, and then he stuck him in that scene.
Yeah.
So he had to go to a sex shop apparently with his daughters and said, just be like, ignore me for a bit, and they picked out his costume, what he was going to wear for that.
Somebody might be able to confirm, but I think this is correct. I don't know if you know this, but when the PE teacher's in the shower getting whipped, when Freddie appears there, that's not Robert Englund.
Oh, is it not?
That's why he looks a bit weird, Harry Walks.
Oh, that's another thing we could talk about on this, because originally he wasn't cast, was he?
I can't remember. That might be why then. Maybe did that scene first.
Originally, what Bob Shea, again, trying to cut corners with Freddie, they said what Halloween did, and Jason, they had different actors in behind the mask, and Freddie's got a mask. So they got a stuntman to play Freddie, and they started filming, and because Robert Englund wanted more money, and they decided that no, he looked shit, so we got Robert Englund back. So
that'll be why.
They filmed quite not as much Eric Stoltz Back to the Future, but they did film quite a bit with a different Freddie. So he nearly wasn't going to be in any of the rest of Englund because of that reason. Yeah,
very cool. And my main man crush, well, one of my main man crush squeezes, Robert Rustler, is in this film.
Yeah, but yes, yeah.
I've got a lot of time.
One of your many main ones.
I've got many.
You've got many. You've got main. You've got like a criteria.
I didn't realise I said that, but yeah.
Okay.
Different levels. Robert Rustler is great in this one, and if you look at, he plays Grady in this film, who's like Jess's best mate in it, and if you look at the IMDb of what Robert Rustler did when he started acting, it's unbelievable. He came out of the gate super hot, as in Thrashing, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Weird Science, and Vamp, all within the same. Why? I mean, he's done great, but why he wasn't like huge star?
It's a weird one. It was just like pigeonholed into that sort of that role, wasn't he? I think he could have broke out because he had everything, like charisma, as you say.
Yeah, cool as
everything.
Heck.
And I didn't have the crush. I had sort of like, I want to be his mate.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think more like I'd like to hang out with him and do whatever, but obviously not what you want to do. But yeah, it's just cool dude, isn't it?
Just find him a handsome dude.
No, you said a crush. There's a difference. There's a difference. I think he's attractive.
Yeah.
But
well, that's good enough then.
That's not a crush. You need to sort out some different word other than crush. Anyway, he's quite a good-looking chap.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the reason why I got cast for that role, but I think it's just because he was cool.
No, he's a good actor as well.
And he's brilliant. He's brilliant in it. The only thing I didn't really take too much to in this is the female lead in it.
Kim Myers, I liked her.
Who's great, but they reused her because she looks like Meryl Streep. That's the reason why they cast her, and she does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She wasn't hot enough for me.
No, I liked her, yeah.
She wasn't. I don't say she's
a cute girl next door kind of thing.
Yeah, she wasn't like. Imagine there wasn't any in the. Tina was the best looking one in the first one. Because Heather Langy, not really. Then you go to the second one. Her mate was better. Yeah. Why? I'm trying to get some men points back in because he's on about men crushes. I'm going through the better looking girls in Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the third one, obviously, you've got Taryn.
Yeah.
You've met or spoke to?
Yeah, I spoke to her. Yeah. She's cool, super cool.
We diverse massively. What were we talking about anyway?
We were talking about Ron Grady, Robert Russell's character.
Right. Yeah.
In the scene where Grady gets killed. Again, you've had 40 years to watch this film. That's one of my favourite special effects. The transformation scene.
Oh, he comes out as a body?
Practical, yeah, it's brilliant.
That's a horrible bit though when... Yeah, it's really good. But the bit where he actually kills him and his dad's behind the door, that's proper horrible. Because you don't really see a great deal, do you? But you see his knives going through the door. And that desperation of like trying to get away from him. It's proper scary. And Freddy, in that moment, if that's paused, that is the coolest silhouette of Freddy.
Yeah.
Watch him when he stands up, he's got like a side pose on, like a boxer, and his back slightly arched. It looks so cool in that bit.
Fun fact, I actually met a guy when we were doing a show one time out in America who said he was a special effects guy. He told me a couple of films which one film which his wife mentioned was Fright Night 2, so I was blown away.
Wow.
So I came back home, went on IMDb, pulled up the guy's name, a guy called Gregor Punchatz. His dad designed all the stuff with the game Doom and all this kind of stuff. But I pulled up his IMDb. Yeah, he'd done Fright Night 2, but his first film was Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And he worked on that transformation scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He turned up in Hollywood. I think he came from Texas. He can correct me if I'm wrong. But it literally it was Mark Shostrom, I think, was the main effects guy before Kevin Yeager took over and all this kind of thing. Gregor just rocked up and introduced himself to Mark Shostrom, said, I'm a budding special effects guy. Can you give me a gig? His first gig was the transformation scene. And then he went on to do RoboCop, Coming to America, all kinds of stuff like that.
Because Coming to America is pretty effects heavy if you think about it. Well, the makeup heavy, sorry. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so I'd have been on the floor if I'd have known that.
Well, that's insane. That. Well, that's like the 80s though, isn't it? I mean, how Rick Baker got his crew together, just like volunteers basically, like mates of volunteers. And like the John Landis story, I got his gig by just bugging Universal.
I think it's another example.
So good. You can't do that anymore, can you?
No, I think it's another example of why these films are so good. It's like Star Wars, we spoke about this before. All these films which are massive and still loved to this day, they could have fell apart any second.
Yeah.
They were like flying by the seat of the pants. Freddy Krueger built New Line Cinema. It was like a tiny thing.
It was bankrupt. To be fair, do you know that second film as well? More was on that than the first one.
Yeah.
Because the first one saved them, then they pumped everything back into the second one super quick, so they turned it around within a year. That came out less than a year before.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did.
Which is crazy.
Well, I think if this came out in '85, hopefully it's '85.
It's close to that. Yeah.
I think it was a couple of years before Dream Warriors came out in '87. Then after that it was '87, '88, '89. I don't know if it was a year or 2 years for Freddy's Dead, I'm not sure. But yeah, they were just churning. It was the summer movie, it's the summer horror film, which I think is a great idea. And I think they figured out a way of doing it, not necessarily rushing them, but I think what they cleverly did, they figured out a way of, while one scene is being shot, they're either setting up another scene. They just find a way to really maximise the time with these films and work within the budget which they had. And Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is the perfect example of that. Yeah, there's some bit dodgy scenes in it, but as a film on a look and creativity and things like that, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because there's a lot of accusations of this being rushed out, and I think they admitted it was rushed out. But I think it turns out really good.
It's great.
And it's also a sequel, it's a bona fide sequel. It's not like Halloween 3. It's the same house.
Yeah.
He finds a diary.
Yeah.
Which I think, I love that bit as well, finding a diary. And also, it's a bit like, it's just him.
Yeah.
If you think about it, there's no one else involved with this one. So in the first one, they're all having the same dreams. In the third one, they're all having the same dreams.
That's an interesting point, yeah.
Second one, it's just him. No one else is affected by it, apart from when he starts killing you at barbecues. That will affect you. But in this one, it's like
I'd not really thought of it from that point of view. That's quite an interesting take. Yeah.
I hadn't either. I just did it just then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realise if you think about it, it is just him.
Yeah.
So it is a really good possession film. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people don't like it. Is it because of the rules? Because if it is, it's
I think that's the main thing.
It's bullshit, though, isn't it?
But like I say, if you saw it first, it's a great horror film, great 80s horror film.
And everyone's acing it as well. As much as
Yeah.
I don't fancy Jess's Lisa in it,
Yeah.
everyone's brilliant in it, I think. I don't think the acting's bad at all.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
good.
really good in it. It's not boring. There's not one. Is there a boring scene in it?
No. It's great. And
There
it's
isn't.
got a dance scene, almost like montage thing in it.
Yeah, the dance
Brilliant.
scene's wicked. And I was like, oh, so that's another thing that makes it look a bit gay. But it's like, to me, it was just like, that's how I'd want to tidy my bedroom.
Yeah, that's what you would.
I'd be like, I'd addict about that. And
What do you think about that?
yeah, that was it, wasn't it?
Quality.
The glasses and the hat, and
Yeah.
then the shutting the door with your arse. What's
Yeah.
wrong with that?
No, he does the drawers with his bum.
Yeah, shutting the door. Sorry, did I say door?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't do that.
You're just thinking about it.
With one push, it had gone through the wall. No, I've got plenty of room to tidy up, mate. So I might as well give it a shot.
Fantastic. So yeah, we highly recommend.
Yeah, and so very quickly before we go, what we're going to do is, because we're not doing Nightmare on Elm Street again for a while. Before we go, list them 1 to
Oh, God.
6. Just so
All
you
right,
can
we're
have
just focusing
bit of a
on 6.
discussion. Let's have a bit of a discussion. So 1 to 6, not New Nightmare, not Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Go.
Put him what? As in best one? Favourite?
Yeah, start with the shittest.
All right, Freddy's dead. Worst.
Yeah, I agree.
5.
That's hurt you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a dentist or something, right? Or you were constipated.
Yeah.
5, I agree with. Now we're going to fall out, aren't we? Now we're going to disagree massively on this
Yeah.
next lot. So you go for yours. We agree 6 and 5.
2.
Just did a video on the
I know.
fucking thing.
I know.
Rob's lying to you. I love it. He don't. You only like fucking who's him or what's it, Grady. Carry on. Go on.
2.
I can't believe you said that.
I'm gonna go with my heart. 1,
Well.
3, 4.
If anyone agrees with him, you're mental.
Now that's not what I think is the best. It's my personal
Your opinion,
favourite.
yeah, that's fair enough then, because if it was the best, it'd be
Oh, yeah.
spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, does it? Because it's an opinion, and
Yeah.
obviously everyone's got an opinion. And
Go on then, what's yours then? 6, 5.
6, 5. 4. Sorry. 1, 3, 2.
Number 2 at the top for you.
It's my favourite, definitely.
Hold on to it. Hold it with pride.
Thank
Look
you.
at that.
It's worth a lot of money as well,
It
isn't
is.
it?
Big box, Graham Humphrey's artwork. Now
Ridiculous.
2, Warner Brothers.
It's a cool ass video cassette as well.
One of the first ones I actually owned on retail. You could go to Ritz Video in Grosvenor Road in Ripley, and they had a catalogue. And I remember looking through it, and it had Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's like, I can buy it and keep
Really?
it. It's $14.99, but I had to get my mum to go and pick it up. And she brought it back from school
Wow.
one day, and I had a bunch of mates around, and we watched it.
Oh, there you go. So you put it at number 4?
It's some of my favourite films of all time. So.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
You have talked a lot more in this one, so
So yeah, thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you.
That's episode 3 of.
what's in the egg, Rob?
See you next time.
Classic.
Someone is coming back to Elm Street. He is not friendly. He is not patient.
Kill for me.
And he is not a welcome visitor. But he has something terribly special for the new kid on the block.
It started to happen again. Dad! I'm in trouble. You've had some scary dreams, okay? Help!
Daddy can't help you now.
There's something inside him.
Fight him! You are not afraid of him. He doesn't even exist.
Freddy Krueger is back on Elm Street.
Get out of here, Lisa!
Jesse, fight him!
Watch out for him. He'll be in your neighborhood soon. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2.
You are all my children now.
Freddys Revenge.